Hey guys, welcome back to Painting After Dark. I'm JR. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed, well, I guess I had a rant video about the state of magic. And then also I was basically done with like my next painting video. And so those were like back to back. Hopefully you guys enjoyed them either way. This next video is going to probably be a two-parter. The reason for that is I have to build something and then I'm going to paint it. And, well, you'll probably see it by the title. But what we're going to end up building is a Saturnine Siege Dreadnought. Now, I've had this guy pretty much since they dropped, and I've been waiting to build it, primarily because he's not going to look like this. We are going to make sure that he is blessed with all of the gifts that Nurgle can give. I'm talking tentacles and nasty melted pauldrons and teeth and spikes. He ain't gonna look like this. He's not gonna look like that. He's not gonna look like that. We're gonna do some pretty cool stuff to him. And I've been waiting to see what bits I had and how I would be able to make this guy just look super cool. So that's really where I'm at. We're obviously going to have a build. I'm going to go through the process. And the reason why I want to go through the process of the building and then hopefully make that one video and then the second part be a painting video is because it is going to be a kit bash. So I think a lot of people, they like to watch the process of a kit bash and not just the process, because I'm probably going to end up using a lot of different techniques to get some of the desired effects that I want. I recently got like a very low torque rotary tool to help with some of that. So we'll see how that goes as well. It may not work. It may suck and it may chew up the model. I know that is one of the gripes that some people have had when using like a normal speed or normal torque rotary tool. It can chew up the mini pretty bad. We are working with plastic, so we don't need a jackhammer to cut butter, But I had been working on a kit bash for turning a Glotkin into Rodigus. And about halfway through, after chopping and doing all these different things, I realized I was so disappointed in myself. I realized that I didn't film any of it, and I could have been doing that. I could have shared the process with you guys. So I want to make sure that I do that this time around. And because the process is, I'm not sure even what the process is going to be yet. I don't know how this Dreadnought is built, so I don't know how I'm going to have to assemble everything. I'm probably going to assemble everything in parts, kind of see how they mesh together and how they fit. If it's anything like the other Dreadnoughts and or Chaos Titans, any of any of that stuff, it's probably going to be like build the legs, build the body, head is somewhere tucked in there, and then the arms are kind of free flowing, which would be great. And then you put the plates of armor over top. I have a few really good ideas, and so we're going to try that out. Hi everyone, say hi to my cat. This is one of my cats, and she likes to disturb me as much as possible, especially when I'm doing artwork. So anyways, I will show you the Rodigus as, actually I can probably show you right now really quick. I'm going to get up from my table, and I never do that, or from my thing. And honestly, I can just cut all that shit out. It don't matter. Anywho, I'll do a different heads up, but this is where I've gotten my Rodigus so far. I still have some gnarly stuff to do up in here. And I think I want to maybe hang the bell, the big bell, somewhere up here. But I was kit bashing, and I didn't even think about just kind of sharing the process. Which, you know, when you're kit bashing, that's probably a very important part of the process, is showing people how you're doing this thing. So this is a little bit more of a longer introduction. Just kind of wanted to go over what I was thinking about this particular project, and pretty much making it the priority for my next one. I usually have a lineup of things that I really want to do. I do have to start working on a painting for a comic book that's coming up here soon. So I definitely have to start working on that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully you guys will come along for the ride with that one. To anyone who has subbed, commented, liked, shared, watched, there's a lot of people watching. There's a good amount. So for all of you guys watching, please hit the subscribe button. That's going to put these videos into the YouTube algorithm, because, you know, everything has algorithms, and it'll hopefully get more views and more views. That's the ultimate goal. You know, I obviously would like more views, and the more views I get, the more it's going to push me to want to make more content. Right now, I'm just trying to do it for myself, to keep myself busy, but at the same time, I am doing it for you guys as well. So, anyways, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, like, do the thumbs up thing. Comments are really cool. In the one video, my last painting video, I couldn't find the character. Like, I could not find where the guy was from, and the first and only comment I had on that video, someone knew exactly where it was from, and I found it. So to them, thank you very much. I don't know the name of the person, but I did reply to you, and you were right. So if you do watch this next video, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and we're going to get to building. So here we go. Thanks, guys. So if you haven't seen this guy before, he's pretty big and chunky. This is actually my first look, getting to take a look at him. He has a lot of parts, from what I've gathered. He's big. He's a big guy. Yeah. It'd be fun to build. He's on a giant base, too. A pretty big base. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to start working on him little by little. You know, I never really use the decals and stuff. Especially because he's Nurgle. He won't have any. But at first look, he is a lot of tiny little pieces. So, we're not really going to show most of this process. I just kind of wanted to open it up and see what I was working with. I always try to go through to kind of see what I'm going to be working with. I see, that's what I figured. Yeah, he's build his legs, and then his cannons, which I don't think we're going to do. The big thing about Nurgling out this guy is I want to make some holes. He has these giant pauldrons, and you know, that's kind of the meme about him. I mean, like, he just has these like gargantuan shoulder pads. You know, he's like a linebacker, and you know, they look really cool. But I had a couple really neat ideas for this guy. I don't know. I gotta see how they'll match up. Either way, we're basically gonna try to build this guy out. So I'm just kind of looking here. That's the finished product. It's really cool artwork. It's really, really cool. So what we end up doing here is snipping off the few little bits from his leg joints, because his legs would be seated in there. And if you had those little notches on there, you wouldn't really be able to like free float the legs. So I just chopped those off, made sure that the legs were free to move around. That was the first step. Once I got all of his leg and the lower part of his torso together. And I like to do this especially with bigger models, just because you can really play with the articulation and kind of set them up for the way that you really want. Here was just something really simple, his usual head, and then I just took a extra Nurgle bit. I think it was a Terminator, Nurgle Terminator. Gave him the little fly face, which I think was really a nice addition. And here I'm just making sure everything fits together. It's really important. Obviously, they're going to fit together, but again, checking kind of how much articulation you get. And I ended up putting him on a base, and the way that I have him standing on the base is a lot different from, I think, what most people would have had him do. Here we are using one of the methods, which is heat and fire. That got a little too fiery, and I didn't really expect that. But basically what I did is I heated it up, and I took something and poked through it, and then just started cutting out chunks. And I ended up using a sander. So I just played with a lot of different things. And again, when doing a kit bash, I already had a bunch of things picked out that I wanted to use for him, and I had a couple ideas. And for Nurgle, this works great. With other characters, if you're going to use heat to do stuff like this, you probably don't want to go as gnarly as I did. But again, I think for the type of character I'm creating here, it worked really well. The other thing is, use your little sanding sticks and whatnot to kind of smooth everything out. I was using some sprue goo, which you'll see later in the video. The guy's covered in it, just because it kind of makes more of a seamless transition between some of the things that I was doing. But I got pretty aggressive with the sanding, making sure that there wasn't a ton of jagged edges, but that warping that heat added gave him just enough that I think it really, really looks so good. I'm excited for the end of the video, just because seeing him all primed and ready to go is great. Those tentacles were from a third-party Great Unclean One that I had, and they were just perfect for the addition for him. And then, of course, you can see some other little spiky bits, and then the one piece on his leg, that piece right there, that piece came off of one of the Nurgle vehicles. I don't remember exactly what it's called at the moment. Drawing a blank. But I just thought that would look really cool. I was trying to use those for shoulders, and unfortunately it just didn't look right. Now here is the technique, and I show it to you. The way that I did it, I heat it up, make sure that the plastic becomes pliable, and then you literally push whatever you're trying to kit bash directly in. And if you look, it kind of gives it a more realistic look, like it's actually coming out, because you're kind of pushing the plastic aside, and it gives it more of that ripple, that textury ripple effect, like it's actually coming out. So here he is. This is the unprimed version of him. Use some chaos bits for the little arch above his head. See some skulls and stuff there on the spinal column. I did a lot of that heat transfer, that heat. That awesome power fist was from another 3D printed Titan, and I thought that with the shoulders that he has, they're just so big and burly that I think I thought a nice big chaotic arm would just look so good. So yeah, I didn't really get into a ton of the kit bashing, but you can always ask, and I can tell you guys exactly what I did. Well, welcome back, everyone. So we successfully transformed our Saturnine Siege Dreadnought into a creation of Nurgle. Got some tentacles in there. Got some holes where some, toxic stuff has corroded away his armor. He's starting to rot stuff. And tasks like this are extremely daunting because you have this brand new model. I mean, Saturnine guys are still pretty new. I've had them for a while, and I would have loved to have gotten to that point where a lot of other people were painting them as soon as they came out, creating that content that's really hot and trending at the time. But I'm glad that I was able to get him and do what I wanted to do with him and take the time to think about it. Because if I had just cracked them open, put them together, painted them when I got them, which was literally the week that they came out, I don't think it would have been as special. It wouldn't have been something more that I wanted to do. And, some of the process was kind of hard. I had to really think about certain techniques. And one of the big techniques I will mention in the video, but it was using heat. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the outcome. Of course, when you're done, don't forget to give them a good prime. And part 2, we're going to get right into working on this guy, I think, this coming week. I'm going to be working on the color scheme for the next couple days and hopefully get into painting him and hopefully have it done by next week. That is my goal. We will see. But otherwise, I'm really excited about the look of this guy. And knowing what I did, kind of warping his armor a little bit, using the heat method I used to use for a lot of older minis, especially plastic minis, to move their arms around. A lot of times they're posed in a particular way. Their arms are up like this, or, maybe they're holding a gun or something. And a lot of older minis, you used to be able to apply a little bit of heat to a joint and move an arm or a leg. The big one that I used a lot was Warhammer, the not 40K, but like the fantasy version of Warhammer. And I had a bunch of skeletons, and some of the skeletons were on horses. So what I did is I clipped the horse from the base that they would sit on, because they would come and there'd be two little lines, and the horse hoofs were here and here, and then here and here. And I would clip them off of there, and I would heat up the back 2 joints, and I would rear the horse up so it looked like it was actually up, like in kind of like a bucking pose. So I always come back to some of these really unique ideas. We have to remember that it's plastic, so there's a lot that we can do with it. And the sprue guru really helped with this one. But yeah, I'm really stoked on this next video. Thank you all again for watching, and hopefully you like what you see. If you do, I know it's a broken record thing, but trying to make a channel work, you have to say, hit the like button, subscribe. They really do subscribe though. I'm on my first trek to becoming like to the next point in YouTube. And I think I need a lot more. I think I need about 3,000 subs. And I think I'm just over the 100 mark, maybe a few over the 100 mark. It's really going to help my channel, and it's going to help me continue to bring content to you guys, especially if you're liking what you're seeing so far. Again, this is going to go on for a long time. I'm not going to stop. So give me the subs, show me that you like what I'm doing. Hit the notification bell too. That also helps. Anything to get it into the algorithm, I guess. It is really cool to see one of your videos come up while you yourself are just watching YouTube. It's kind of neat. So yeah, anyways, thanks. And hopefully you guys are looking forward to the next video, the getting the paint. He's primed and ready. I'm going to let him sit for a day or two. And yeah, see you guys soon. Tuning in. Later, guys.